Hello, everyone. I'm here to discuss the Jalyn Holmes pick and the fourth round, the 102nd overall pick. Now, he actually doesn't have as much production as you would like him to have, as he was stuck behind Nick Bosa, Tyquan Lewis, and Sam Hubbard at Ohio State. So he was effectively one of their fourth best pass rusher, and he was used pretty much exclusively at defensive end. Now, I think you could move him into three tech potentially. I think he has that kind of potential because he just has so much power to his game. Although I'm not sure if he can handle being there full time right now. I think you need to have him in for a year or two before you try full time and just to get him stronger. But he did have 9 TFLs in 2016. He only had 3 last year. He never recorded more than 2 sacks in a year. And like I said, he offers the versatility by being able to play inside or outside. And I think he will possibly make a better interior rusher on third downs and sub packages rather than being a full time player just as a 3 tech right now. And it's a little concerning whenever you do take one of these players without much production and you are kind of relying on the athletic traits because he is very athletic. And the power is very key there in terms of him being able to transition inside. Because to me, I really think he could be a developmental guy who could replace Brian Robeson or possibly Sheldon Richardson. If obviously if Richardson's a 1 year rental, I will assume he is currently because of what we're paying Kirk Cousins. And I think I really do think Jalyn can actually be molded to either play the end or the 3 tech. Because I feel like if you ask him to bulk up a little bit more, he could really make a switch to a full-time 3 tech role. And that would be kind of nice because then we have our kind of a quick twitch guy right in the 3 tech spot if it actually worked out okay. And obviously the problem with this is he's never really played a full-time 3 tech role, which is why I would think you kind of ease him into this and you use him more in sub packages and pass rush kind of packages, third downs, third and longs, things of that nature. Maybe you replace Brian Robeson with him in that double A gap package. It's a thought. It is a thought. And just because I feel like Robeson, I don't know if I'm alone in this thought, but I feel like he's regressed a lot last year, and I felt like he was almost more of a liability than he was helping. And I think just adding a more athletic guy there, especially with his frame at 6'5", 283, if we ask him to, because sometimes we would drop Brian Robeson back into coverage, I would trust this guy a little bit more just because he's more rangy and more athletic than Brian Robeson at this point in his career. And I also think the sack numbers could go up if he's at 3 tech because you put him on the end where he probably can't out athlete anyone, I guess you would say. And if you move him inside the 3 tech where he's constantly going against guards, with his size and power, he can probably just go right through them at times. And it would just be really disruptive if it all goes well. Now, the problem there is if it goes well. Like I said before, I feel like he really does need to bulk up, probably somewhere between 290 and 295. And then we can kind of reassess this idea. But I think ultimately, this is a player that could become a starter if molded the right way. I think there's a better chance at 3 tech than there would be at end, just because, like I said, I feel like out at the end, he probably can't out athlete anyone, but you put him inside. All of a sudden, you have a disruptive interior force. And I will actually give this pick a B just because I feel like the floor could potentially be just a situational or rotational kind of pass rusher and just a depth guy and a pretty solid depth guy. That could be the possible floor. So I'm going to say this is a B pick. It's a solid pick. It's nothing too flashy. I don't think it's anything too flashy. I don't know if he'll ever be like a 10 sack a year guy. He probably won't be, but if he can become a 3 tech and a pretty good one, then this is obviously a better than a B kind of grade. But I really feel like the floor is he's in situational and sub package interior rusher. So solid depth, not a bad player, and I'll be back. Well, I bid you adieu for now.